Okay, I asked Marcus to send me the videos he wanted me to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Those never got sent.
Hold on.
Now, hold on.
There's more to that.
Hey guys, it's your girl Michaela.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Marcus.
I'm sorry, did I hit you for real?
Y'all see what I go?
I'm sorry. And we are back with another video. I'm sorry, baby.
I'm blinking, y'all.
Oh, Lord. This is already a bad video, so don't
Y'all see what just happened?
So, guys, we had our first argument.
She apparently still mad about it.
I'm not mad.
She just hit me.
We had our first argument. I thought we were gonna make it to a year without an argument, but we made it to 11 months without an argument.
Yeah. And looking back at it, the funny thing about this, when we decided we were gonna do this video, it took us a while to figure out why the argument started in the first place.
And I think that's how it starts with a lot of couples. Like, what the heck did we argue about? But then as we went through, we like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that kind of goes to show that y'all don't let stuff blow out of proportion. Because if we can't remember why we started arguing, was it really that serious?
I think it was serious, but
I'm not saying it wasn't serious.
Not too serious, no.
Right, and that's my thing. If you cannot remember 24 hours later what in the world y'all are arguing about, one of y'all should have tried to de-escalate that before it turned into the argument.
That's true. But with our argument, we were talking about business.
Yeah.
Business ventures. We basically we misunderstood each other about how we were handling some business ideas, some business things we're working on. So we have business A and business B. That's just what we're gonna do. So business A, Marcus had started on last week researching, because we like to do our research, make sure we know what we're doing before we start something. So he was watching it, getting real excited. When Marcus gets excited about something and then researches, he wants to talk about it right then and there and just, go ham. So Michaela was still focusing on just other things and I hadn't started researching yet. So here comes Marcus wanting to have a meeting about business A. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking I'll be able to handle it. Psych. I was super lost. So I said, wait, hold up. Let me do research. Let me get caught up on the research and get caught up where you're at. And then we can have this meeting.
Mm-hmm. So what that told me was, all right, bro, you have been doing research. You've been going ham. You're a little advanced in this. Cool. We agreed that business B is something that we're going to do. So for me, it was, okay, she's asked for time to research it. I'll give her time. While she's researching business A, let me start looking into strategies and details and topics for business B. Well, so I'm doing that, and Michaela is thinking that I am just continuing to do my research and further leave her behind.
Yes, because I'm like, I just started research for business A, and then you just gonna start research for business B and not even get me behind on both now. So of course that made me feel some type of way. So my thinking was that whenever I told him that I needed to get caught up and do research for business A, that he was going to continue to research for business A, but at the same time, take me along, help me get to that point where you were at. Because I'll go through research, in a couple of days, and I'll be good. I'll be caught up. And then whenever I get closer to a point where he's at, we'll start going through it all together. So I wanted Marcus to talk to me about business A like he has been all week, giving me information and stuff and telling me ideas. And then as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember watching or reading an article on that or watching a video on that. And now I get it. I understand. I thought you were going to be, I guess, like a study guide.
Well, see, that's the thing. For me, I have no clue what research you had done.
Yeah.
I have no idea where you're at in that. So for me, it's like, okay, if she needs to catch up, it's impossible for her to catch up if I continue. I'm already ahead of her, so I need to chill, let her catch up. And as she's going through this, I'm expecting her to do like I do. As she's researching, she discusses. But that's not at all what happened. She was researching, unbeknownst to me, she had gotten to a point where she felt comfortable discussing it, but never said a word to me. Was waiting for me to come to her.
I was, because Marcus had said that he was going to send me some additional videos to look at. And
hold on. Marcus didn't just volunteer that.
Okay, I asked Marcus to send me the videos he wanted me to watch. Those never got sent.
Hold on.
Now, hold on.
There's more to that.
Go ahead.
Now, she first asked me to tell her what videos I watched. I told her. She said okay. She then asked me to send her the videos. Now, my fault, because I don't remember her asking me that. I did agree to it, but I forgot. Is that not how that went?
No, you said that there were some videos you were watching, and on our KaylaMar YouTube, he had watched some, but there was also some he watched on his personal Marcus YouTube channel, and I can't see those. I can't see his history on those, so I told him to send those to me because I don't know what those are.
So is that not what I just said? We discussed the videos, you said okay, and then you asked me to send them to you. I agreed, and then I forgot to send them.
Okay, well, I didn't know you were including the other videos in there. That's my fault.
So, the thing is, I agree, I forgot to send them. But
I did not remind him.
At no point.
I didn't.
So, which kind of goes back to a few other situations, because there have been times where she has reminded me and reminded me and reminded me and reminded me and reminded me. And I get frustrated because it's like, okay, look, I hear you, I got it. Again, I'm not on this timeline you're on. I'm not going to immediately do it. I haven't forgotten. It's important. I will do it. But reminding me 4 or 5 times a week doesn't help the situation.
So then I asked him, okay, because I don't want to harp on things, because he was actually harping on something earlier that day. And I told Marcus, like, all right, Marcus, like, you harping on it now, like, chill out, you know? And he was like, okay, I'm gonna chill out. You're right, I'm harping. So I brought up the situation with this now. I was like, so what's the difference between harping and reminding you? And what did you say?
If you continuously repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, but you can't say you're harping if you never say anything. How can you call it harping if you've never said a word? That's the difference in reminding. If you say it once, okay, you've reminded me. Give me a chance to do it, figure out what my time frame is, what I've got going on, and then say, okay. But if you, let's say, remind me today, and I say, okay, I'll knock that out, and you don't have any clue of my time frame, I'm thinking, I'll get that taken care of in 3 days. You remind me again the next day, I'll get to it. You remind me again the next day, that's harping.
Yes, but that's where I messed up at, is I didn't ask for his time frame, like, when are you going to do this? Because there's other situations where I have reminded Marcus and he gets upset. Well, he doesn't get upset. You can tell that I just annoyed him. So now I'm just like, no, I'm not going to remind you about seeing those videos, because when I remind you of stuff, you get,
Well, do I do that when you bring it up the first time?
Sometimes I felt like you did. So that's what the argument just went to, a completely different area with that, because the day before I was harping, I guess, because I was making a basket for...
No.
What?
Don't do that. That's a completely different part of it. That has nothing to do with reminding and harping. You were making a basket. We were talking about reminding and harping, and then we went to this situation. I'm just saying, like, we went through a whole, like, y'all, when I tell you we was sitting in this kitchen for a good, I don't know how long it was, but we went through it. We gonna figure this out and communicate. But I was making a basket for some friend's birthday, and I make baskets on a normal basis, and
I need Marcus' help sometimes, like with putting the basket in the silicone wrap, or, you know, holding it so I can tie the bow, you know, just small stuff like that. Or I just want his opinion sometimes. So I was ready, dressed for the party. I was making the baskets, and Marcus was dressed, but I guess he went back in there to get dressed again.
Hold on. See, don't do that. She had called me while I was out, asked me what I was wearing, and I told her. And then she was like, I don't think that's a good idea. It's gonna get pretty hot today. You're gonna die. Because I was wearing some sweatpants and a sweatshirt.
Long sleeve.
So I said, okay, all right. So I'll make a decision on what I'm going to wear when I get there and see what you're wearing. So she's dressed when I get home. She comes out there to start making the basket. I'm in the room getting dressed.
Yes, and when he told me that on the phone, I took it as he was going to look and see what I had on and decide if he was going to change or not. Not what he was going to change into, but if he was going to change at all. That's what I took it as. So that, again, miscommunication. And so I just hear Marcus listen to his damn. Excuse me, Marcus.
She's still mad.
Marcus listens to his iPad 24/7 when we wake up. Anytime during the day, when he's eating, whatever, like when we go to bed, he always has his iPad on. He's always watching something. So all I could hear was the iPad. I didn't hear him in there changing because I'm in here making the basket. So
am I just throwing clothes against the wall?
Well, no, but I can't tell what you're doing because you'll go in there and just listen to your iPad and just be sitting there. So I thought Marcus was just sitting in there on the bed listening to the iPad. I didn't know he was changing. So I said, baby, you know, whatever, like, can you come hold this for me?
Is that how you said it?
Yes, how'd I say it then, Marcus?
Baby, come help me hold this. Again, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. You trying to make it seem all comical and cute. And
I'm not being comical.
The thing is, I don't mind helping her. Don't mind helping her at all. But
naturally cute.
The frustrating thing for me is you don't give me any warning that you're going to need my help. And the second you need help, I've got to drop everything. You're expecting me to drop everything I'm doing and come help you. And I hate being late, and we're already late. Now, the reason we're late, not her fault at all. Not my fault, situational. But I'm already frustrated at the fact that we're late. And now you expect me to stop getting ready so I can come help you make this basket, which is going to make us even later because now I got to go back and get ready.
Yes, and that was another misunderstanding because, again, I did not know that you were in there changing. If I knew he was in there, so this is how he came out when I asked him to come to go. He said, yes, baby. That's what he did. I'm like, okay, I'm irritating them. And then I see he's not dressed. He's almost naked. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, okay, Michaela, you're annoying him. I didn't know he was in there getting dressed. So he goes back in there. And then I needed help with something else. I didn't realize it was going to come that quickly and that soon. So I said, baby, are you busy? And then he was like, kind of. And then I said, okay, I need your help I don't know if I said when you get a chance or not. Did I say when you get a chance?
It doesn't really matter. I don't know if you did or not.
Okay, well, I asked him, I think, to come when he gets a chance, and he said, okay. So I need him to help me hold something. And then while I was trying to prop it up and get it held still in the basket, I had got it right when he came out, and I was like, never mind. And so that just further made him upset. And he saw it as me not respecting his time and what he's trying to do, when it was just happened to be that I got it all together when he came back. Like, I figured it out.
So the reason I'm feeling some type of way, Michaela makes baskets. She makes amazing baskets, and she's been doing it for years. So my thinking is, this is something you do often. You know your process. You know how these things go. You've asked me for help numerous times. Never had a problem. Don't have a problem helping you. But my thing is, you should know the process. You should know, hey, I'm going to need help. Tell me ahead of time. Hey, look, I'm about to make this basket. I'm going to need your help. Probably like 10, 15 minutes or 20, 30 minutes. So that way, I could have restructured the way I was getting ready, because I could have gotten halfway ready because I knew you needed my help. Instead of taking the long time, I was like, all right, I got this picked out, I got that picked out, now let me go pick out this. I could have been getting ready while I was getting all that together.
And I agreed with him. I should have told him that I was going to need help. And when I get in my basket mode, in my little happy place with making these baskets, sometimes it takes me longer to assemble them, sometimes it doesn't. And Marcus says I have the around the part same time, but with me, I'm just like, I'm not counting, I'm sorry how long it takes me. But, so yeah, I understood that. And again, that was some miscommunication and misunderstanding of what was going on. Because I kept calling him back. And he was just like, you should just told me that you don't need, like he said, so he can restructure how he was doing things. And I agreed with that. That was my bad. So yeah, and then I started getting frustrated. So when I get frustrated and I don't want to talk about it anymore, I don't want to argue, I just said, okay, well, next time I'm just gonna ask you for help. Because normally I don't ask people for help with the baskets. I have issues with asking people for help, and I put people ahead of myself all the time. And I am learning to stop doing that. So I was about to cry because I was just like, you think you're over something and you stop, putting others in front of you, but then a different situation comes up and dang, you doing it again. And Marcus is like, no, like, don't do that. That's not a solution. That's right. Just you trying to move on from the conversation.
Right, because my thing was, if you just stop asking me for help, that didn't solve our problem. So our problem is going to come up again, which is going to further frustrate you because you're like, well, I thought I took care of this because I'm not asking you for help anymore.
Yeah.
But asking me for help isn't the problem. Yeah. I don't have a problem helping you. What it is not giving me a heads up when you need something. You're going to need help. Mm-hmm. No matter what it is. I don't care if you need help hanging a picture or cutting your toenails. It's a random example. She don't just cut her toenails.
Yes.
But you're going to need help. So it's very impractical to say, well, fine, I'll just never ask for your help again. That is not a solution to anything.
I was ready to just be done with the conversation. And at that point, like, it's one of those things I'm like, okay, if I'm going to upset him, because the last thing I want to do is upset the person that I love most in the whole world, which is Marcus. And so if it's going to upset him, then I'm just not going to do it. But then he was like, no, stop, because he knows my habit of putting others ahead of myself too often. So we talked about that. And then one thing that I liked that we also talked about was generational things that we gain from our family members. So you said that how you can sometimes, you hate going back and forth with things, which he does. He said he very much gets that from his dad.
Yeah, because to me, there was another situation that popped up like the day before that, where she was doing something on the computer. She wanted my opinion on it. And literally, I would come, give my opinion, go back to what I was doing. The second my butt hits the cushion, she's calling me back over. And in my head, I'm like, this is an issue to me because you have the ability to do it. You don't need my help. I have 100% faith in you. We have the same taste. We have the same ideas. We have the same design concepts. Do it and then come ask me once you're finished. Yes. Or if it's something where you are like, okay, I just want your opinion on 4 or 5 different parts of this process, again, tell me ahead of time. Hey, can you stay here for a second? Let me just get your opinion on these couple things, and you can go back to doing what you're doing. Because to me, way more considerate, and now I can sit down, give you my undivided attention, and then go start something else. She also didn't realize I'm in there researching a whole nother topic on a business proposal that we've already put together and agreed that we're going to do. And before I make a move, I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know what I'm saying. I need to know everything about it. So I'm researching in there. Now, I did have my AirPods on, so she couldn't hear anything.
I thought he was watching sports.
Because to me, if she's in here working on a project, I need to make it absolutely quiet so she can focus, because that's how I need to focus. When I'm working on something creative and artistic, I need to focus. I can't have a bunch of noise going on, because I'm then going to want to know, what's that? And then I lose track of what I'm doing.
Yes, and that was another misunderstanding, because the reason I was calling Marcus back and forth was because I know how Marcus can be, and he will want changes done after I'm done. After I finish a project, he may want small little changes done, and me having to go back and change all that is hard sometimes, depending on the program that I'm using. So I'm like, it's easier if I just ask Marcus about every little step, so that way when I'm done, I don't have to go back and just mess up everything, redo, undo, whatever, and just be able to do every little piece at a time, so it'll be less work for moi. And then he said, how my family, very much so, he has noticed that whenever one of us asks the other for anything, we all just drop what we're doing and go do it. Which, now that he said that, I said, yeah, you're right, we do that. My dad does that with my mom does it with my dad, and me and my sister do it with each other and our parents. Like, we're all like that. When somebody says, I need your help, we just go. And that's not how he operates. So that's...
Hold on, now that sounds a little bad.
No, I'm not meaning to sound bad. It's just you like to know ahead of time what's coming. And
so my thing is, if it's something where that you know what you're doing, you know your process, you know you're gonna need help, just tell me ahead of time. But if it's something that you're new at and you've never done it before, because I even brought this up and I said, if this is something you've never done before and you run into a surprise, no issues whatsoever. But to constantly call me back and forth within seconds, I'm like, come on now.
I'm not gonna lie.
And that's my thing, it's just like, you're gonna want more than one opinion, or more than one, or you need help more than one time. Tell me to sit down, and I'll sit down, and you got me. If you need me for 2 hours, you got me for 2 hours. You need me for 5 hours, you got me for 5.
You're right.
Don't let me go back and forth. That's what really upsets me.
I understood that, and I never even thought about the possibility of telling Marcus ahead of time, like, hey, I'm going to need you, because that's just not how I have operated in the past or current. So that's something new, but I'm going to start doing it.
Yeah.
But I like how we looked at situations, looked at how we grew up and where things come from. Like, when we have our discussions, and I know we'll have future arguments, like, I know that we're going to go all the way through it to where, discuss it thoroughly to where we're not going to have this same issue again. Right. Because we're like, okay, for the future, this is what I'm going to do. For the future, this is what this means, and how you should interpret this.
Right, and the thing I like about it is emotions did get high. There were some facial expressions.
Oh yeah, Marcus gave me some looks, honey. I was like, I'm giving it right back, neck and all, and like, it was all that.
Yeah, because it was a lot.
Okay, that's what Marcus likes to do, but he gives like this face with it.
Look, I don't do this. I do this.
No, you do this and this. It's a whole stair step for Marcus.
So typically when I do, it's like, all right, hold on, chill. But it's not an okay. It's just a chill. Hold on now. Wait a minute. So for me, what I really like about that whole thing is, yes, emotions were high on both sides. She was upset and frustrated. I was upset and frustrated. But we were able to get to a point where we could really sit down and say, okay, hold on, and listen to each other, and listen to why I'm frustrated, why she's frustrated, and go back to what's the genesis of all of this? Why does that upset you? Because now that I know how she thinks in those situations, now I can look at the situation a little differently. It's like, she's not disrespecting my time. She's not considering that at all. It's not being inconsiderate. It's just, this is the way I grew up. This is how I've done things for the past 30 years of my life. Okay, so now I'm not so upset because I don't feel like she's being inconsiderate. I don't feel like she doesn't give two craps about what I'm doing, because everything she's doing is the most important thing in the world at that moment.
Right.
No, it's not that at all. And since I know that now, since she knows how I think, we can maneuver in a different way that doesn't frustrate the other person.
Right. I'm going to tell Marcus, hey, sit your butt down. Now, I'm going to tell him, like, hey, I'm going to need some help with this, just letting you know. And sometimes I may even have to tell him, like, this is why I need you to sit right here. Not because I don't think I'm capable enough to do it, just because it's going to be less work for me, because Marcus likes everything customized. And just, he had... Ask the person that we get our t-shirts from for anything, because they call him Mr. Complicated as soon as he walks in. So it's just easier to do step by step with this one right here. But you're creative, though. He's so creative.
I try.
But so yeah, that was our first argument. It was blood, sweat, and tears.
But before we, because I had stuff I had to go do. I had an appointment. Before we split ways, what did we do?
I love you.
Right.
And gave each other a hug and kiss.
Right. No matter how heated a situation gets, at the end of the day, I love this woman. I need to make sure she knows that. And I want her to make sure she understands that just because we were yelling, cussing, fussing 32 seconds ago, doesn't mean my feelings for you changed.
Right. And I like how he did do that, because he said, you know, I had got done with my little boo-hoo, and I said, he was like, but at the end of the day, what's the most important thing? And then I was like, trying to think, and he was like, I love you. I was like, oh, just melt your heart. You can't stay mad at him. You know, so it was a good conversation. It did get way more heated than it probably should have, but I feel like it was something that needed to be said, because we went over so many different scenarios and topics and situations, to where I know that it won't happen again.
Yeah, and again, we always talk about how important it is to communicate, but as much as we stick to that, we still had communication lapses where we thought we knew what the other one was doing. We didn't know we were making assumptions.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And sometimes you're going to have an argument, especially when in the relationship you've got combined roles. We're not just in a relationship, we're business partners.
He's my trainer.
Yeah.
Like he does this. We're intertwined a lot. So we have to communicate more than other couples may have to, because if, you know, I'm not feeling well and, you know, I'm at the gym and he doesn't know what's going on, you know, like it all intertwines. He needs to be able to be a boyfriend and a trainer and a business partner, and like, it's a lot.
Yeah, it really is. And for me, it's good that early on in life I was taught, wear these different hats. Don't put this hat on and try to make these decisions. No, when this hat is on, these are the only things that you focus on. Mm-hmm. And being able to compartmentalize allows you to look at things from other angles, because as her trainer, I need to know what you're feeling and how you're feeling, because sometimes pushing through it is not the answer. Pushing through it is the most dangerous thing you can do.
Mm-hmm. And I will push through it, honey. And it makes me mad when I can't push through it.
Right. So. But as her boyfriend 2 hours ago, when you started feeling this way, I need to know. Mm-hmm. So I can make the best decision. And it's like, okay, all right. And it is difficult. It is complicated. But the fact that we can be so emotionally vested, having a business conversation, drop that emotional veil, say, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Rewind. Let's really discuss this. Now we can easily make good decisions for both our relationship and our business.
Yeah. So that was it, guys. We wanted to be open and transparent with you guys and let you guys know, because, you know, like we always say, we're taking you along the KaylaMar journey, and I think
we're not perfect.
We're not.
And we don't want to come off as thinking like we have all the answers and we know how to do everything and we're perfect. We don't argue, we don't fuss, we don't fight, because we do.
Yeah.
And another thing, we went through our own process to make sure we didn't dwell on what just happened.
True. He went through his, you know, little business stuff, and my get me good and happy, listen to my music, and clean. Cleaning is my happy place with music. And by the time we both finished what we were doing, lovey-dovey, kissy-missy, all over again. So we gave each other that space to do what we need to do.
Yeah, and understand,
to calm down.
You and your partner are two different people. So don't try to force them to do things like you, because they're not you. I didn't force her to come talk to me. It's what I wanted, but she needs to go. She needs to go clean and listen to music. Cool. I did my business thing. I started doing some more research, and then when we were both ready, we were back in the same room like nothing ever happened.
Yes. So that's it, guys.
Oh, wait. Wow. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. Yeah, y'all see the shirt?
Oh, Lord.
Y'all see the shirt? Well, wait a minute. There's a reason for this. This is a clue to what's going to happen. There's another video coming out after this one, and it's got something to do with this guy. This guy.
Stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Let us know what you guys thought about this.
And let us know how y'all deal with arguments and disagreements.
Yes. Because everybody's different.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Ashe.
Peace.